a little crazy, but it's a good kind of crazy. It's a good kind of crazy.
That's what I would think. Like if somebody was like, "Yeah, you wait and use it for 1 hour a week."
Yeah, but I plan to do it for a long time.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, except for the real benefit is then I get to watch all this stuff and go, oh, so that's how I should do it. Okay, good. Good. I'm glad I didn't spend all the money trying to figure that out.
To be completely fair, you actually do one even better and just
I may just use it one day.
Yeah, right. I was just gonna say.
I'll just use. I mean,
save
seriously,
save you the trouble of having to do.
I can't even imagine if I was well off and I started getting into podcasting and I had stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
It would totally redo the way I'd totally change the way I do a studio. If this turns any space into a studio,
right?
We're sitting here in a hotel lobby room area, and it's a studio now. It's remarkable. Man, podcasting is it's just gonna be huge.
I'll bet you $100 that 5 years from now, the podcasting people they'll probably come out with newer ways to redo the same things that they're doing.
How are we doing the music?
Oh.
I mean, I can have Beard put it in post.
Yeah, I can do that. I just never actually grab the file.
No, I'll have Beard do it in post. Okay. If he doesn't mind.
He won't mind at all.
Because the only other way to really do it right would be a third input here.
No.
Because I time my intro to the music.
Oh.
You know?
It's
pretty close?
It's not, yeah, it's not, I'd say it's about a half second off. So I've done the Snow enough times that I know exactly when.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, half second's quite a bit, though, when you're supposed to come right in on the beat.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'd be missing. I suppose if I had a laptop with me that I was doing this through, I could probably route the audio that way.
Yeah.
That might be possible. All right, we have anybody showing up yet? If you want to join us in the chat room, discord.me/JupiterColony, setting up for Coda Radio.
Chris, you're going to be so proud of me. I got my micro USB cable. I got my mini USB cable. I got my USB-C cable.
Wow, dude, look at that.
And? You proud, bro?
Why do you have lightning?
Because I've won too many times. I've been sitting next to somebody and like, can I plug in my iPhone?
Well, good for you being, what is that? That's just you being a good, technology citizen.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, a brand? Yeah, that's
right.
true. That's true, too. I suppose for clients that does make sense, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Fortunately, my altruism and elitism doesn't work so well when I have to put a paycheck behind it.
That text is a little small there on that Discord, but I guess it's passable. It's passable.
That's your fault.
Wow.
IRC was set perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Somebody wanted to use Discord.
So it's gonna be one of those, huh?
It's always been that.
Mike, did you see the story that Dell, now that you bought a Dell, Dell's is considering selling itself to VMware, which it owns?
Yeah, in some sort of creepy reverse merger thing.
Yeah. See, this is what happens after you buy hardware. This is your fault.
I really do destroy companies. So Noah, are you looking for new clients?
Yeah, exactly.
I almost bought a System 76, but Dell sent me a coupon.
Actually,
38% off. Couldn't resist.
I think you're gonna be pretty happy with that. I really do.
Yeah, no, it's actually been pretty good.
Noah's got a really nice ThinkPad that would be.
Yeah, I love this thing.
If so it's a 13-inch screen. But it's got 2 batteries in it, and you can actually pull one of the batteries, and the other internal battery will keep running, so you can swap batteries without having to turn your machine off. And it has a built-in LT. Yeah.
It actually doesn't have 2 batteries. It has 1 battery, and then it has a power station, which is what allows it to run without batteries.
Okay, you don't call it a battery. It's not called a battery. It's called a power station.
It's a 3-cell battery.
So it's got a
That's literally what the Lenovo guy told me.
It's got a built-in 3-cell battery, and then he's got a 6 or 9-cell.
This is the 9-cell.
So then he's got I don't even ever see you plug that laptop in.
No, I don't.
Your battery's all day.
No, I will plug it in.
And then he's got a built-in LTE modem.
Dude,
with the thing.
how long has this been on? And it's still,
Wow, it's still 100%.
Yeah, no, it lasts forever.
That's the best battery life I've ever seen on a Linux laptop.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. It's just, I'll never, ever, 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 ever run the battery dead throughout a day. I can go all day.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I never. I don't even. I brought the power supply only because I need to charge my phone.
What do I do if this? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great laptop. It is a good size.
Yeah, I've been really happy with it.
So there's other options out there besides Dell and System 76.
True.
I got a couple of notes on the event, so maybe once we get into the Ubuntu workflow stuff, I could talk about that. Yes.
So what is the name of the event you're at? Ubuntu Sprint or?
Yeah, it's a Snap Sprint, so this with a specific focus on Snap integration with different vendors in the area. In fact, I should pull that up and get that on the queue too. So you have, people in the industry in this area that they come in and they bring in all their different staff members who work with those people and all that stuff. I hear a train.
Yes.
How far are you from the train? I live near a train where the RV's at.
Not far. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe 100 feet, maybe 50.
I'm not the best with what would you call that? Geometry? Depth perception? I have no idea. It should pass.
You have a Yeti, right? Microphone?
Do you have a Yeti? Yep.
The Yeti. It's the nice thing about the Yetis is it's got the built-in stand. People really dig that
it's got
built-in
the little
stand.
pop filter.
Yeah. People dig that. But I definitely hear more noise than I normally do on Skype. Like, I hear somebody walking now. I don't normally hear that either.
That's somebody
I
walking
think that was-
outside my office. Wow.
Wow. I bet Skype must have been doing some gating, which is fine.
I mean, I can try to do push to talk, but that seems...
No. Yeah. No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's easy enough to fix, really, long term. That if this is something we kept doing, it's not a hard fix on my end.
Right.
Hard.
Damn
Rock
it, no.
hard, even. One
Damn
might
it, no.
say.
Let's see what you started. .NET folks are here too. That's great. Azure folks
Wait,
are here.
what?
At the Sprint.
Oh, yeah, they're everywhere.
The Visual Studio Code.
Everywhere.
Visual Studio Code folks are here too. And Electron Builder and Electron Forge and Slack and JetBrains is here as well, and Plex. These are pretty relevant topics to our show. That is semi-relevant, you might say.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. What are you doing over there, Noah? Trying to get the soundboard working?
No.
What?
I could, actually.
No, you don't need to.
Oh.
What are you doing?
I was just reorganizing some files.
Oh, I see. in the middle of a conference.
Well, my back's against the wall.
I see. So you ran out of time, I see.
Yeah, well, I didn't have any walls to paint last night, so I fell asleep.
Again, it's my fault. I see. There's so many options in Plasma to play with. It's really kind of remarkable. I'm just going to lock it down right now. Boom. Lock it down. Pow. Lock it down. How are we doing on battery life on this? Where does it say? Good. And is that 76% battery or 70? That's 76% battery, huh? Not
I got the power thing if we need it, but
No.
I doubt you're going to.
And then it's got so this is also a USB audio interface?
Mm-hmm. And then it comes back on.
I feel
The
like you don't
audio
love
comes
this
back.
thing enough.
No, I do love it. I really do. Here's the thing. I think it's an absolutely great box. I don't think it's worth the amount of money they charge.
No.
That's the only thing.
Yeah. Well, what if it was $1,000? Seems like it'd be a slam dunk.
even if it was like 2,000, I think it would be great. But like when they have literally, I should show you the other version.
Yeah,
when
you
they
should.
Have, when they have
what the
another
hell?
thing that's literally like a quarter of the price and does almost everything that thing can do for a fraction of the price.
Oh, you got to switch to the Coda Radio channel, Brosif, on Discord.
Oh, okay.
On the OBS machine.
I can do that. So it has
The Teleline.
same mix. Do they have a picture of the back? Has the same.
Definitely looks older, huh?
Huh?
Does look older.
Yeah, but they're actually, interestingly enough, they're the same generation. But you still get 2 instead of 3 inputs. It still does send and receive. Still can do full PCM. The only thing is hard wired Ethernet only. There is a Wi-Fi module you can buy or a cellular module you can buy. But when you buy it stock, it's just wired. The thing is, though, it works every time. That's.
Does it have a
that's-
battery?
Yes.
Wheel. Now, if you could get off your duff and go fix the
Yes, I'm
Discord.
fixing it right now.
Gosh, they're so angry at you right now. They're so angry at you.
Are they?
Oh, man.
Just
So angry.
tell them to come in IRC and we can talk about it.
That's funny. That's good. That's good. Yes, it's funny.
GTX. So what? How do I have to join a different Discord or what? How do I?
You just go down to the Coda Radio channel.
Oh, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what channel am I in?
Probably general.
Oh.
You know, like you do.
Oh no, I'm in Linux Unplugged. That's what I am.
You goof, dude. You goof. This isn't Linux Unplugged.
Well, that's the last one I was. No, hold on a second.
Damn it, no.
Where's Coda? Oh.
I can't even with you right now. This is. Will you hand me that cup over there? Can you
No.
reach that?
No.
Okay. You doing all right? You haven't had any Coke today.
I know it's crazy. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So now is everyone happy?
Here's a funny headline from Gizmodo. How much should I regret not buying Bitcoin? Here's another one. Sean Spicer. I regret embarrassing myself, my family, my friends as press secretary. Ouch. Ouch. I liked Spicy Sean. Thought he was funny. He made watching press conferences right and good. Yeah, that's really all that's going on in the world. Apple's market value has dropped $45 billion in a week in fears of plunging iPhone X demand. There's some other Apple news today. Somebody was talking about in the Telegram about some other Apple news.
Well, there's all the HomePod stuff.
I do have an anecdote related to HomePod. In so much that I pre-ordered one.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, well, you know, I talk so much about the Echo now and the Assistant. I feel like I've got good momentum on that. So I feel like I'm gonna try it. I don't know if I'll keep it. I'm gonna seriously consider the return policy for this one. But that wasn't the news. This is the news that somebody sent me this morning on Telegram. This is all crap. Whoa, that alien emoji looks kind of cool. Let's talk about that. Come on. I don't see it. There's something that piqued my interest that, oh, maybe, you know what? That's right. I remember where I saw it. Yeah, I just thought this would be interesting to you. So, did you see that Mark Gurman says that Apple's working on 3 new Macs, including 2 MacBooks and 1 desktop with the custom co-processors, just like the iMac Pro?
No, I did not. I did not see
Yeah.
that. Really?
I told you they're coming. I told you they're going to come after developers. I told you they're doing it. They're doing it. They're going for it. I knew it. I knew they were going to get off their duff and start responding. Yeah, Mark Gurman at Bloomberg has some chart. I don't know how he got this information. But he says they're going all in on new Macs with T2 co-processors. Say goodbye to Hackintoshes, everybody. Hackintoshes are dead with that. There's no way. Unless they leave support for non-T2 versions. But it seems like once all the Macs have co-processors, yeah. That is bad news for the Hackintoshers. Now you just got to scroll down, Noah. I know you're new to Discord.
Oh, sorry.
Just scroll down, or just go enter something in the text field like a smiley face, and it'll drop you all the way down. You know, just go drop yourself a little smiley face. You know what I mean?
I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scooping what you're pooping.
Choice. Well, we're just about ready to start. Once you get all this crap figured out. Damn it, Noah.
This is your fault.
How do you not just leave that app running all the time?
Because I only have one license, so if anyone has to do something...
Even
at
if the
work-
app's open?
What do you mean?
So you
No,
can't
I'm,
even...
I'm the app is open. It just...
I see.
If I...
I see.
So where do I type?
I don't know. Looks like there's a button where you're supposed to type to me. What's that about?
I don't know.
You need to scroll down the UI a little bit? It's kind of a weird thing to be hung up on over there, dude. You know what doesn't make any sense to me?
That there's a button instead of where I'm supposed to type?
Yeah, what does that button say?
Claim account.
Oh my god.
But I'm not... Yeah, I don't have an account, so... I don't really want to claim it.
Can you scroll down?
I'll try this.
You know what's weird?
There, I think I did it.
What's always throwing me for a loop is on the Starship Enterprise, why do they always have pictures of space in the crew quarters? Don't you
That's a
think they
good
have
point,
pictures?
actually.
Don't you think they have pictures of trees
That's a great
and,
point, actually.
and mountains and
Yeah.
rivers and stuff?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a dog or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
it would lose its novelty so fast.
Yeah, you're like, I'm already in space. I can look out the window.
Do you watch Black Mirror?
A little bit.
Oh my god!
Or,
I can only
yeah, yeah.
I can only handle like one episode a night.
Yeah.
maybe two.
I watch it pieces. I've watched a few of the episodes. I've jumped around.
It's really rough.
The truth is real, Noah.
The truth is.
Hello,
It's
Mr.
a nice,
Pope.
it's a nice MacBook.
So how did you guys feel about the not last night's, but the one before's Discovery?
Boy, there's a lot going on.
Which
I was starting
which
to
one?
suspect
Which,
the
hold on, which
Lorca.
one?
The Lorca reveal episode, which I don't want to spoil it for people listening live, but
Oh.
the Lorca reveal about Lorca's origins.
Oh yeah, okay. That was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think so.
I thought that was last week.
That was the last one.
Yeah, last one.
Yeah.
Okay, the last one that you and I have seen.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think this could work well. Because if they keep Discovery in the Mirror universe, then Lorca can stay the captain. That explains away all of the reasons why they have stuff that isn't in main Star Trek, because you could just say, well, they stayed in that universe. They never came back. They didn't bring it back. You know, like the ability they have the ability to break Klingon cloaks. They have the ability to have a spore drive. You could just have them.
See, but here's the thing.
They
though.
could never return to the
Here's,
Master
here's,
Universe.
here's the other way to look at that, though. The other way to look at that is maybe the Discovery is proof of why you can't ever have any of that stuff.
Right.
Like, it almost killed that.
But the loss of the Discovery would also probably solidify that. Even if, like, the Prime universe just thought the Discovery's gone forever, they'd probably never use Spore Drive again.
Yeah.
So my thinking is plus it totally throws out, you can keep as much canon as you want in the Mirror universe and throw out all the other stuff and make up new stuff and have fun. You know, you can kill people that never died. You can, there's all kinds of things you can do when you're in the Mirror universe.
Yeah.
But you can still reference all the same stuff that everybody's nostalgic for. I think
Yeah.
they should stay there, and I think it could be a brilliant way to do a Star Trek series.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, but then they should have gotten there a little faster.
Maybe.
Yeah, boy, if that isn't the truth. Yeah, because now I'm so hooked on what they're gonna get done in real
in the
universe.
Prime.
that-
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want them to be able to go back and but that could be the struggle. That's the struggle that they're always trying to get back to.
That kind of stuff gets old.
So
for
kind
me.
of like Deep Space, basically.
Yeah, or Voyager. Voyager was stuck in the Delta Quadrant, always trying to get back. Oh man, all of a sudden my eyes itching real bad. I'm glad we're not on camera because I'm sitting here rubbing my eyes.
Yeah, that's something people really, really don't like.
They don't like you
No.
lip smacking or rubbing your
No.
eyes. Quit rubbing your eyes.
You know what I did? I don't remember. And it's not. I think it's one time I've ever done this. I had a glass of water and I took a sip and I didn't bother to get the thing. Man, I'll be darned if I didn't get probably 10 emails from people going, "Could you please not sip water into the mic?" It's really, really frustrating. But yeah.
Yeah, people get triggered. People really don't like the sound of people eating. It really grosses people out.
Yeah, apparently.
All right. Well, you might as well hit record over there.
Record?
Yeah. We'll get started. It's gonna be distracting.
I didn't know if that was just me or not.
Do. All right. What's that? Why is that an error message? Where was there an error message right when you hit record? Was there an error message?
Did it?
I don't know. I thought I saw it, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm just being paranoid.
Phantom error.
Yeah.
I don't see it, but now you made me nervous. I'm going to go start the recording on the other machine, too, just in case.
You know what? You people don't appreciate Jar Jar. In fact,
that
that
is
is
Right,
true.
I don't
discovery.
appreciate Jar Jar.
That is true.
I don't appreciate Jar Jar. They spent 3 movies setting up the most amazing character-building things ever, and you really love the characters. And then, with this
You're
stupid...
not recording. Well, I'm just saying.
Was that
Then
Jar
they
Jar?
go. Then they go to redo it, and they come up with the most idiotic character ever. And the only thing that's good about the first movie is the special effects.
Yeah. No,
Is there anything
I
else you don't
agree
like
with
about
you.
Coda Radio?
No,
Special
oh,
effects.
except for it's not the Ask Noah show.
Oh, is that not the show we're doing?
You could do Coda Radio if you want.
Okay,
What box are you on right now?
I've got 2 OBS boxes,
Oh.
so I'm gonna record on both. Just
You have
in
an
case.
AB? Is that what
Yeah,
you got?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Well, just in case one goes
Jeez,
down.
you are a maniac. I love it. That's a good idea.
Well, I'm not
Thanks
there.
for building the best studio when you're not building it in my studio. Jeez Louise.
Hey, to be fair, a lot of the stuff I did was inspired by your stupid.
Yeah, the mistakes we learned.
Exactly.
The things we said, well, I'm never doing that again. All right, we recording?
Yep.
So, Beardsley, if you're listening in the future, you'll have to add the music in post because Noah
Chris was
didn't.
too lazy to do it.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's it. You know me. After 294 episodes, 293 episodes, I said to myself, Self, I am sick and tired of using the soundboard. After 293 episodes straight.
I'm muting you. I'm done. We're done. I'm done listening to this. I'm not going to put up with this. I don't have to put up with this. I won't put up with this.
Is within reach
Yeah,
right
well,
there. So what
I'm
now?
gonna
What are you
screw up
doing?
your show if you
Now
try.
what are you doing?
I'm going to get you your stupid intro music.
Oh, you don't have to do
Oh,
that.
I have to.
No, you don't.
Now we don't have a choice.
No, you don't
This
really.
is your fault.
Oh, I hear machine noise now. You son of a. You want to try this machine?
Ah.
What did you do?
Just take a second. It's just when it powers up.
Oh,
then
yeah, sure. Well, my eyeball itches, so we can take a second. You know, when my eye itches, it's hard to do a podcast. Oh, mustaches. Oh, mustaches. Did you see they already retracted that 5G story?
I have to.
No, you
Now we don't have a choice.
No, you
This is your fault.
No, that sounds horrible.
Oh, I hear machine noise now. You son of a...
No, it's awful.
You want to try this machine?
Why does it sound so bad?
Why do you ask so many questions?
Why does that sound so awful?
Is that no?
No, it might be. We're intermingling still. But I don't think so. Jeez, that's awful. You want to try my machine?
Yeah, I guess, but I feel like
Wow. That was rough, dude.
I was gonna say it can't be.
We're not even on none of these machines are even plugged into AC.
No.
Oh, now it just stopped again. You think it's still there though? We just don't hear it?
I don't know. All right. Well, anyway, do you have the sound file?
No.
Oh.
No, but I could. If you want to double check our audio and make sure it doesn't sound like total crap right now.
It sounds like crap.
Does it?
No, it sounds fine.
Then why am I hearing myself coming back?
Why do you ask so many questions?
Why am I hearing myself coming back?
Do you have the stream playing?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Now do you hear yourself coming back?
Check. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's delayed. Are you feeding audio into this from anywhere else?
I don't hear. How can you hear yourself come back? I don't hear you coming back.
You don't hear that? Check one. Check one. Check one. Check one. Check one.
You're high.
Put this headset on and do it.
Test.
Yeah, you see.
Dude, we're plugged into the same headphone splitter.
Yeah, I know. But it didn't start until you did this stuff.
Test.
Could it be coming back from my machine?
Why am I not hearing you?
I don't know. That's weird. Yeah, that is really. I can't explain that either. That is the weirdest thing of the day.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it must be your fault.
Check one. Check one. I hope it's not in the recording.
Here, try this.
Check one. Yep, still there. All right, let's try this. Check one. Still there.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, now what do
How
we
do you?
This is definitely your fault. I mean, there's no
Check one. Check one. Check one. Yeah, it's still there.
Now you permanently screwed it up.
How is that even possible?
I don't know.
Maybe it's because Mike is muted.
He's not muted.
Yeah,
Hi,
he
Mike.
is.
Hi, Mike.
He's muted.
Hi, Mike.
I'm back now. I was muted.
Check one. Check one. No, it's still there.
I blame you.
Well, how do we verify this not in the recording? Because that's gonna be really. I can do a show like that, but it's gonna be really distracting to the listener.
The only way we can do that is to put headphones on.
Listen back to the stream. Why don't you do that while I?
When you get your music set up.
Yeah. So then we'll have live music. That'll make it easier for me. You're doing great over there, Mike. You stand by. You're doing great.
That's fine.
Oh, I'll have to set up VLC too. All right. So now while those download, I'll work on setting up VLC. VLC would like to access the network. Oh, VLC. You always want to access the network. Check one. It's gone now. Nope, still there. It's just quiet. Check one. That's what I say, Mike. Check one, two.
The Borg.
Check 1 2 2. Dreaming about 7 of 9. Okay, good.
No.
7 of 9. All right, so let's see. Okay, so I'm going to do a test of... Dang it, man. I set this thing to go out the right... I set this thing to... Oh, geez, that kind of crap drives me crazy. I set it to go out... I set it to go out the audio device. That kind of stuff drives me nuts when that changes. I can't stand VLC. All right, so I got to keep it where?
Where the diamond is.
Okay.
Break it down, y'all.
So you're telling me that is clipping? Because I'm going above.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm
for
going
sure.
above.
Oh, for sure it is. It's not clipping here. It's clipping back at the studio.
So
but
am I clipping right now at the studio?
no, if you you have 10 decibels
Yeah.
above that diamond before it clips.
Okay. So am I clipping right now? Clip, clip,
No.
clip. Okay.
No.
So, but that's clipping.
That's probably okay.
Okay.
It's hard to see when I'm not right above it, but you want it to peak at the diamonds. That's the
Okay.
that's the
Oh, this group is letting out right now. It must be their left out.
perfect.
That is funny. That is too funny. How about that for intro timing, huh? That is too funny. Well, my eye still itches. If anybody wants to know, if anybody cares, I mean, it's
I was
it's
hanging
awful.
on every word of it.
Thank you. I'm glad you care because I can tell Noah doesn't care. He didn't even bring his antihistamine drops for me.
Oh, I have those in the bag. Did you want them? You don't believe? He doesn't believe I have them.
I don't.
He doesn't believe I have.
I don't.
It's 'cause
Oh
I
man.
don't.
Oh yeah, good eyeball scratch is pretty satisfying though. I gotta say. There's not a lot. You know what? The only thing more satisfying in terms of scratching is
Don't say that out loud. Not in here.
Q-tips in the ear.
Oh, no, I thought you were gonna say, but you're right.
Oh, I love a good Q-tip scratch. You know.
Yeah.
Is my eye all red?
Not really.
Good, because I've been rubbing on it like crazy. So I'm glad
I mean,
it's.
it's a little bit, but it just looks like you're like overly emotional or something.
Oh, I am. I'm on the edge. I don't know what comes next. All right. You know what they're adding to Plasma is, geez, I don't even know what that's telling me. Wow. That's a lot of information. They're adding playback controls in the web browser. Okay, you don't care. Screw you, I hate you. All right, guys. We'll give these guys another minute, and then we'll start. This is Coder Radio. This here is Coder Radio. Is El Coders, El Coders, El Coder. Okay. All right. That's a rockin' Hawaiian shirt. Boobity boo. Welcome to Seattle. Welcome to Seattle, Mike. You
I
know?
love Seattle. It's a great town.
This gal's just out here. This gal's just standing out here shouting at people, telling them what to do. You see this gal over here in the white and black shirt? She's just standing there like
Though
calm.
I can't see her, she reminds
No,
me
I-
of my wife already.
Oh yeah.
You know we are live.
That is good. That's good though.
Whoops.
So it is January 29th. Boy, I wish these people would. I wish they would not stand there and have that super loud conversation. I'd really like to start my show now. I really would like them to go. That is some timing, dude. It's, you know what this is? This is a live version of me getting messages on my phone.
That's exactly what it is.
This is the universe loves to troll me like
Yeah.
this. This is one of its signature maneuvers.
Here's the thing. One of the reasons I started using headsets to begin with is because I kind of like the more like, oh, they're on location sound. Because if I use a regular mic, nobody can even tell I'm on location, which sucks. Actually, as it turns out.
Yeah. We'll give them a go and then we'll. What do you got going over there? Is that? Oh, that's. What are you doing in Lightworks? While we're doing a show, you're gonna be editing video. You monster. You are a monster. You know we're gonna be talking about Linux in this episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, then I'll be interested.
Boom.
Heard all that Apple Home Hub,
You
Home
can play with it
Hub.
if you want.
Home Hubby Dub.
You can get one if you want. I won't
Can
judge.
Okay.
I know how you're really big on AirPlay.
Yes, I use it for everything.
You're really all in
Yeah.
on AirPlay. I bet you're excited about the potential
Can
of
I
AirPlay
ask a
too.
really dumb question?
Yeah.
What's AirPlay?
You know, like Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that only
Wait, they
without
invented
without
their
the
own Bluetooth?
Well, to be fair, it was before there was Bluetooth audio streaming. But yeah, I've talked about it before. It's actually more like their competitor to Chromecast, but they've also had it since before Bluetooth was being used. I mean, they've had this forever, and it's a direct IP to IP video or audio stream. So it's an H.264 video stream or an AAC audio stream.
I see. But it goes over the network.
Yeah, and instead of having to pair a device, you just set devices as publicly accessible, and they show up on the iOS device, and you just choose them.
And then anyone can pick them once they're publicly accessible?
Depends on how you configure it. Yeah. Some people do it on purpose, so that way you'll have a way for anybody to send stuff, but some people lock it down. Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, they're cleared out. Let's get started.
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go, Mr. Dominic. Stand by one. We're going to get going. We'll bring Noah in here in just a moment. Let me do a quick levels check here. So I guess Beard won't have to do the music. That's too low. All right, we'll start right there. All right, you might mute yourself for the intro, Mike, because I don't have a way to mute you on this end.
Sounds good.
If it's easy enough for you. All right, here we go. Now I hear myself again. In a 3, in a 2. This is Coder Radio, episode 294 for January 29th, 2018. Hi everyone and welcome to Coder Radio, Jupiter Broadcasting's weekly talk show, taking a pragmatic look at the art and business of software development and its related technologies. This episode is brought to you by our two fine sponsors, DigitalOcean and Linux Academy. I'll tell you more about those great sponsors as this here show goes on. My name is Chris, and joining me every single week via the power and magic of the internet, why yes, it's our host, Mr. Michael Dominic. Hello, Mike!
Jar Jar, I am not.
No, I guess not, actually. It still works. Now I'm just a laughing fool in a hotel lobby right now. I'm live in Seattle, and I did not see that one coming.
Alone.
No, in fact, our good buddy, Mr. Noah Chalai is here. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Chris, how's it going?
Good. In fact, I'm really glad you're here because you made this live setup possible.
Yeah, here's the thing. First thing I told you when I got to Jupiter Broadcasting is said, we talk about a couple different things, but I've become the studio engineer, more or less. Like if we go outside to do something. If it's a remote broadcast,
yeah, that's true.
I'm starting to feel like that's the only reason I
Noah,
get invited
solve this for me. Solve this, Noah. Yeah, we're live at a Canonical, what they call a Snap Sprint. So they have about 50 Canonical employees here and a bunch of industry partners, which I'll talk about more in a little bit. They're all here working on solving different packaging problems for Linux and other OSs as well, actually. So I'll talk more about that because there's several companies that are relevant to this here podcast that are here and joining us, and there's actually lots to get into. But we have a full show. Even though we're here live in Seattle, we have a full show. Noah's here. He's going to join us for a special topic later on. I feel good, Mike. It's good to be connected with you outside the studio. We don't do this very often.
I know, to see you in your natural snapping habitat.
So I stepped in it last week on the show. Last week I was trying to figure out this new PowerShell release for Mac, Linux, and Windows, open source. It seems like a major strategy shift. Oh, in fact, I even argued it was a bit of a doubling down on a strategy. And we got some good feedback on our PowerShell segment, including an email from a technology fellow at Microsoft, first name of Jeffrey, who invited us to actually go down there and do an interview on location and see how that works. Man, it's lunchtime. All these guys. Oh, yeah? Okay. All right. After we get done podcasting, we'll come join you guys for lunch. We started our show right at lunchtime. What kind of amateurs are we?
Nice job there. Nice.
So we might end up down at the Microsoft campus getting it directly from the horse's mouth on what they're doing with PowerShell and see how that works out. But in the meantime, we do have an email that came into the show on the topic that I'm going to throw in your faces because it's a pretty good email. Mike, did you see this guy's name? I didn't grab the...
his name is actually Chris. Yeah, his name is also Chris.
Oh, yeah. That's hard for me to remember. Chris wrote in and said, Mr. Michael Dominic, he asked me on Discord to write in, so I'm taking him up on that. Hey, look at that. That's nice. He says, I'm far from an expert, but we have done some cool things. In recent versions of Windows Server 2012 R2 and 2016, everything you do in the GUI is working in PowerShell behind the scenes. When you add a new role or feature to a server environment, a lot of times you can export the template into a PS1 file and then run it later to automate the process. We've used this often for new forests or domains, especially when spinning up an RODC or a file server for a new branch. However, when new management began preaching the DevOps movement, we started using a lot of Windows Forms to complete our work, with new server rollouts and new domain controllers, etc. We worked with the development team to create sysadmin forms, quote-unquote, that anyone could use so HR could spin up a new server for a workday. Well, at least hypothetically, of course. I don't think anyone in HR actually ever did that, he says. I know, but it's such a cool idea. The HR person could spin up a server. Anyways, he says they used system management.automation and system collections.object model. Those were the two libraries, and with those the developers were creating PowerShell objects and instances, collaborating with the sysops teams to set up the proper cmdlets and command functions and implement templates for various tasks. At the time, we were doing this in a Windows bare metal or Windows virtual machines on OS X. But with the current state of PowerShell and Visual Studio on Mac, I don't know if this will be as functional as it was in a pure Windows environment. But there were days when I wished I could just run the forms or use PowerShell in OS X. I think if Microsoft keeps its momentum going, it will be incredibly convenient to engineers in a more sysops DevOps role, rather than having to convert a whole slew of users to .NET. Anyways, I appreciate you asking for feedback on this. I love what you guys do, from Coder Radio to TechSnap. Those are my two top shows in my feed right now. I'm sure Ask Noah's in there too. He said, I've said before, but the JB platform has provided the inspiration for me to dig deeper into my career and do what I do and use Linux every day. Thanks to you both and to the rest of the team for the outstanding job you do. That is sort of echoes other feedback I got, Mike, where it was about now using these tools that we've had for a very long time on Linux and being able to automate the setting up of Windows machines from a Linux box. That's all. Yeah.
Yes, it does seem like there's a small yet passionate subset of our listenership that is deep into the PowerShell.
Yeah, actually, when I put myself in the mindset, when I used to be trapped in an environment where I had to use Windows when I really wanted, it's funny, if I was there now, it would be less trying. But back then, I was desperately trying to use Linux for everything, all the time, constantly. And I just was stuck managing systems on Windows boxes, and I would have killed for a way to easily SSH into a Windows box or easily script something, from my Linux machine. So I totally see where these guys are coming from. And maybe I'll learn more if I go down to Microsoft. Yeah. And I take Mr. Jeffrey up on his offer to get it from the horse's mouth. We'll do a live show from there.
Thank you.
All right, Mike. This next story, it's a little much for me. It's packed full of jargon, but I do see where they're going. It's the rise of the full stack freelancer, a portfolio approach to modern work. What do you think that means?
I think it means that the PR guy earned his paycheck that week. That's what I think.
I mean, I guess what it's saying is jack of all trades is becoming the norm.
Yeah, I put this one in the doc because it's just so ridiculous that it actually rings true to me. We have a lot of people who write in about contracting and freelancing. And this fellow, the author of this article, is basically trying to redefine this full, quote-unquote, full-stack freelancer as almost being like a self-contained business of one, which, maybe I'm an old fogey. I would just call that a contractor. But it definitely, he makes some good points, right, about all these, we talked about, what's that, it helps if I can remember stuff. But that AI platform that hooks up developers and designers and makes ad hoc teams based on
profiles. Right. Yeah. I forget the
platforms
name
like
too.
that where you kind of actually don't have to have your own sales guy or be your own sales guy. Just sign up for the platform, pay them a commission, and they will, sure enough, bring a team together. And if you can do it yourself, or let's say you're a full stack iOS and Rails developer, you theoretically can be a dev shop of one. It's a little bit of hyperbole in this article, but I don't think it's necessarily wrong Gigster. Gigster was the name of that company.
Yes. Good call. I'll tell you what the part that rang true to me in the article is I don't like where I get hung up on is the terminology. But if I forget about the terminology for a second, and this part did ring true with me, full stack freelancers are responding to a series of technology-driven trends: contingent employment, intensifying globalization, and automation. By taking advantage of the other side of the coin, technology finally becoming powerful enough, cheap enough, and user-friendly enough to be deployed productively by a single individual. So it is sort of like making the best out of this nonstop trend towards automation, outsourcing, and what they call contingent employment, which is short-term work. These are all modern realities now. And so it is sort of like taking that situation and making lemonade out of it and calling yourself like a business of one full stack freelancer who's, like I'm like a rogue who gets dropped into the data center and I via a rope and I solve the problem and I work there for 6 months or 3 months and then I'm out.
Right.
And instead of that being the worst thing ever, because back in my day we had jobs for 50 years and we got grandfather clocks when we retired.
Yeah.
Now it's you go work there for 3 months, but it's another way of romanticizing it.
Right.
It kind of does ring true with me though in a way.
Sure.
Yeah, you work in that business,
All the time.
But you are more long-term clients.
Well,
you're not really like the 3-monthers, right?
Yeah, I mean, so we do, sure. I mean, especially subcontracts, right? Like most of our, in fact, all of our subcontracts to date are there's a start time, there's an end time, and we work for 6 months, sometimes a year, to get a given thing done. But that's it. So yeah, we're definitely doing short stints like that.
Do you find that you is that hard to predict business around?
Very. The biggest challenge, right, is going into that environment and trying to learn all the environment variables.
Yeah, get up to speed.
Yeah, before you can actually start doing the work and then get the work done and get out of there and still stay on schedule.
That makes sense. Yeah, I actually, I don't know. I wanted to hate it, but then I ended up kind of making sense to me.
Sure.
Hey, you know what, Mike? I was thinking before we move on, unless you have any more you want to say, we had something to mention in this week's show, a discount code for the O'Reilly conference that's coming up. You want to mention that right now, before we forget? Because I just remembered.
Yeah, we should.
So there's a discount code. It's PC Coder for 20% off gold, silver, and bronze passes at what's the name of the O'Reilly event that's going on that you're going to? By the way, Mike's going to an O'Reilly event. The Software Architecture Conference in February 25th through the 26th. See, I'm catching up. In New York, it's the subheadline, Engineering the Future of Software. February 25th through the 26th for training, and then the 26th through the 28th for the conference itself. And if you're interested in going, you want to meet up with Mike too, perhaps. If you use the promo code PCCoder, one word, you'll get 20% off. And I guess that's just something because they're fans of the show. There's not,
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And Mike's going to another freaking event.
I've got the community flu.
You will get the community
No,
flu.
I know.
I'm working on that right now myself, actually. Noah's got a strategy for these things.
I do. My right hand is my shaking hand. My left hand is anything I got to eat or touch my face or anything
Scratch.
like that.
Yeah. That's a good idea. That's a good way to do it. I've been like OCD about washing my hands.
Oh, really?
I got over being sick just last week. So I really am hoping to avoid it.
Yeah.
But if you're in the New York area and you want to go to a fast-paced and practical O'Reilly Software Architecture Conference, which I've never been to one of those, that could be pretty cool. The pricing is, it's industry pricing, so it's kind of nice to get 20% off because that can be nice. Yeah. The different passes, the gold pass and the silver pass, are up there in price, but the bronze pass with 20% off, especially if your work's paying for it, it's a pretty good deal for those kind of events. So that's neat. I don't really have a URL for you, other than you just go Google that, but check that out. All right. Well, why don't we keep going? I'd like to talk about the event. I'd like to talk about Mike's new hardware. I'd like to talk about some workflow stuff. That's why Noah's here. So let's take a moment and thank DigitalOcean for getting us this far into the show, making this show possible, making it possible for me to sit here at this canonical event and spy and get all of the secrets and learn all of the dirty tricks that they've got up their sleeve and share them with you guys.
So you can air out the dirty laundry.
Yep. So thank you to DigitalOcean for making that possible. Actually, quite literally, we're using DigitalOcean right now to in several different
In
ways.
multiple ways.
To make this stream possible. And it's just great infrastructure that's super fast on demand as you need it. They make managing infrastructure so easy that whether you're brand new or a pro, you'll be able to take advantage of DigitalOcean's infrastructure. It gets out of your way. It gives you the tools you need. They have a straightforward API that's well documented if you want to go that route. It's secure and reliable. I've been using them for years, 99.99% uptime and predictable pricing. This is a huge one for me. I know exactly how much DigitalOcean is going to cost me. And they've just recently restructured their pricing so it's even more competitive. They have a new $15 a month rig, 3 gigs of RAM, which is remarkable. You can get 3 CPUs and 60 gigabytes of SSD storage. Now, my favorite system is 3 cents an hour, 4 gigs of RAM, 2 CPUs, and 80 gigabytes of SSD. Everything is SSDs. I love that about DigitalOcean. And if you use our promo code CODERDIGITAL, you get a $10 credit. You sign up, you use the promo code CODERDIGITAL, you get the $10 credit. You could try out like their $5 rig, 2 months, absolutely free, nothing out of your pocket. It applies a $10 promo balance to your account. You don't even have to attach a credit card. You just fire up the machine, start building something. They have completely, totally assembled application stacks ready to go. Or you can do what my favorite one is just deploy a base LTS rig, throw Docker on there, and just start throwing stuff through Docker and just get to work right away. It's nice. You can add more storage as you need it. 40 gigabit connections coming into the hypervisors, data centers all over the world. DigitalOcean.com. Use the promo code CODERDIGITAL. And a big thank you to DigitalOcean for sponsoring this here Coder Radio program. DigitalOcean.com, promo code CODERDIGITAL. One word. So here we are. We're at the, is it the Hilton, Noah? Is it a Hilton hotel?
Yeah, it is.
So we're here at one of these Hiltons, and we're on the floor that they have sort of built out for businesses, and we're at a Canonical Snap event. And they have several rooms here. They have, I think, 3 or 4 rooms, plus a dining area, and then they have, of course, about 50, 60 people they're putting in rooms here. Mm-hmm. So it's, as far as Canonical events go, it's sort of a smaller scale event, but it's very hand-picked people.
Yeah, it's really not. It's not open to the general public. It's not like a conference that anyone can go to. It's more or less a Canonical work meeting that they just happen to are holding at a hotel.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example of some of the people that are here. So representative from Slack is here. Microsoft Azure, Electron Builder, the .NET team, Skype. So several Microsoft folks are here. Also TypeScript folks are here, and PowerShell folks are here. And Visual Studio Code.
They had to come a long way, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think that's part of the reason why it's here.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Is because, they're bringing a lot of people from Microsoft, and it's right across the street.
Yeah.
And then my couple of favorites, not that those ones aren't great, is JetBrains also has a rep here, and Plex. Mm-hmm. So I had a...
Yeah, we had dinner with the Plex guy last night.
That was
we
fun.
got to sit down and chat with him.
That was really interesting. Really interesting to talk to the Plex guy for a bit last night. So there's a lot of different companies here. And there, of course, there's individuals from different areas of Canonical that are responsible for different tasks. And they're doing something that you don't see happen very often in open source. And it's this business-to-business outreach. Mm-hmm. Where one business calls another business and says, we'd like to have some of your resources come to an event of ours that we're putting on, and we'll pay for everything. Mm-hmm. We'll put you up in a hotel. You come here and work with my staff, and we'll build whatever it is that we're trying to get to collaboratively together.
Right.
You don't really ever hear of Fedora doing that. You don't really ever hear of Debian doing that. You don't ever actually hear of any other big open source project really doing that. They have events. They have conferences. The mysterious Blue Systems, who's a KDE patron, they back in November did something similar to this, like a development sprint. Of course,
right.
You see Elementary OS has done things like this, but this business to business, where I'm calling Slack, I'm calling Electron, I'm calling Microsoft several divisions, I'm calling up JetBrains, I'm calling up Plex, or I'm emailing them, right? And I'm saying, let's all get together, business to business, and do work.
Sit in one room,
yeah,
and bang things out with
right.
all of us in the same room talking about it.
And the reason why I mention why that I think is interesting and different is it makes me wonder if it might be what it takes to make something like Snaps actually really gain traction.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Because it's a competitive level where they can integrate with other industry partners, and they can answer questions here in this room while they're physically together, and they do this every 6 months or so.
Right.
How does Flatpak, how does AppImage compete with that?
No, they don't. And and you said this offhandedly, and I think you're absolutely right. I think we're very quickly going to get to a point where you're going to have Windows EXEs, Mac DMGs, and Linux snaps.
What strikes me about that, and Mike and I have talked about this, is the story of how you target Linux for developers has not really been awesome for a long time. And one of the things that Mike and I were talking about ages ago with Unity 8 was, at least then Canonical has a story. You download this tool, you use this framework, you use this language, you publish to this store, you use this package format, and if you're new to publishing applications on the Linux desktop, you follow this boop-ba-doop-ba-doop-ba-doop step guide, and all of a sudden you've got your desktop Linux app published. And snaps, I think, maybe are providing that chance. So what do you think, sort of from a removed, like somebody who might ship software on Linux standpoint of this? Do you think I'm onto something where it seems like Canonical has an advantage here?
Yeah, I mean, the issue for me would be how widely adopted are snaps going to be by other distros. But assuming that's not a problem, then
right.
it looks like a really easy, really user and even developer-friendly way to package up software.
Yeah, I know they're working on that. You can essentially get snap support to various degrees on different distros, and some distros have perfect snap support.
Well, and one of the things that we have heard is that Canonical is looking for ways to enter at the point at which they are building the application. So, for example, they've made a lot of work so that they put a lot of work in so that when you have an Electron app, you add a single line of code, and you can then build a snap from that Electron app.
Or Unity, they're working with the Unity folks, so it's like an
Sure.
export destination is a snap package. It's just one of the export destinations. That would be big. Yeah, if you get it integrated at the tooling level, I think that would sort of sink the deal. So it's interesting being here, watching how Canonical works, watch how they how do you get an open source community to adopt something? And the advice, and I'm not saying they're doing this because of my advice, but the advice that I passed along to them very early on when they announced this is you've got to ship applications that matter. And so last week they announced Slack as a snap. This week they're going to announce another application that's pretty popular as a snap. It hasn't been announced yet, but it's coming. And I think you start getting enough of these headline applications that people know about in the industry and that people want to install.
Right.
And I think it's going to make a difference.
So here's an interesting idea, too. Could snaps potentially run on other platforms other than Linux?
Yeah, they're working on making them work on Mac and Windows right now.
So, in a lot of ways, that kind of solves a lot of the stuff that Electron tried to solve with maybe a little bit less of the performance.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to snap up Electron apps is what you're going to do.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're not... Right. So your development platform still needs to be neutral, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the direction it's going. Like they were doing a little unofficial inventory last night. It's like, well, this is a Slack Electron app. This is an Electron app now. This is an Electron app now. And they have stats on this stuff too. So, yeah. I know that Mike recently had a chance to install the Slack Snap.
Yes, I did.
Now, what are you doing? Because I thought according to last week's episode, you've thrown in the towel and you're just giving in and you're just going to stay on the MacBook. And now you're installing snaps.
So I'm a sucker for a sale. I got a 38% off coupon from Dell, and I ordered myself an Optiplex. What is it, 7050?
Nice, yeah, the one with the i7 770 in it and 32 gigs of RAM.
Yep.
Ooh, that is going to be a sweet rig. And you're going to toss what on there?
So currently I put 1710 on it.
Oh, you already have it? You already got it?
Oh, I already have it. It's on my desk. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I have the docket on it.
Dang. So you have 1710 on there. So did you try Windows 10?
I installed it for about 10 minutes, and I got frustrated, and then I force-filled the computer, whipped in a USB drive, and paid.
Oh, no. So how's 1710 working out for you?
Pretty good. I'm having a little bit of weirdness. I had to install the AMD drivers.
Yeah.
Which was kind of annoying. Like, I could definitely see the advantage of going in with the Ubuntu version. Yeah. But all Dell will sell you is 1604. So, yeah.
And that has the Radeon R7 450 in there with 4 gigs of RAM, too. Nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty beefy machine all around.
Yeah, that'll last you a while, I think.
At least a week and a half.
Yeah, it seems like at least until probably at least till 2 episodes. And you did not Pop! OS, huh?
No, you know what? I ended up going with 1710. I'm really enjoying 1710. It's simple enough. And are you ready? Trademark.
Yeah.
It just works.
Good. So it's funny we're going to talk desktop workflows today because I had a bad weekend with GNOME. crashed on me 4 times, and it just really kind of made me wonder, is this going to be viable for me? Because the issue is, this is all coming together because you and I, Mike, recently talked about using Wayland for your machine to help with your second monitor resolution problems. Well, the issue is that GNOME 3, when it crashes under Wayland, it is a dramatic crash because it is the display server, so your entire display stack under Wayland crashes when GNOME 3 crashes. And I've had GNOME 3 crashing on me a lot recently. So this has been I've been having a tough time with 1710 myself because this has been a bit of a problem for me. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad to hear you're having some success. I recently actually this morning before the show formatted my computer. And
right before you started to go on air. That was
that was good timing.
Yeah.
It was good timing. And I put KDE Plasma on my machine. So I'm using the Plasma desktop. Now I got off GNOME for a bit. I'm taking a break. GNOME and I are seeing other desktops for a bit. And I don't know, it's early days. We'll see. Maybe I'll try to convince you to switch in like 6 months after I've spent some time with it. But I went and got...
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is based on 1710. So it's roughly based on 1710. So that's, we're kind of along the same lines there. But how do you find the workflow?
I find it pretty good. The snaps make life a lot easier, actually. Because one of the things I don't like is that there's 5 damn ways to install things on Ubuntu. And a lot of the stuff I use, I have to add. So before I used to just use PPAs, right? On my Galago, everything is done with PPAs, which is fine. But eventually I find over time I get it complaining about this key is no longer valid.
Or the URL's bad or something like that. Right. Yeah.
The snaps seem like a much cleaner way, like VS Code, like you mentioned, is in a snap. Slack is in a snap, so it's been running pretty well. The difference between 16 and 32 gigs of RAM is very, very obvious.
Oh, yeah.
And it's making me very happy. Yeah.
Do you run a lot of VMs?
I usually have to run a full Windows VM with a Visual Studio and an IIS instance up.
Okay.
Yes, that would really help. That would, if you're, oh boy, man, I'm excited for you. And after you got close to the iMac Pro too. I think you were flying pretty close to the sun there.
I was flying close, but it was this Dell ended up costing, I think, with shipping and tax, $1,900. The iMac Pro before shipping and tax was $5,000. So you could see the calculus that happened.
Yeah, absolutely. You could. Yeah, you could get another Dell in 6 months and be fine.
Well, I could do these 4 jobs, or I could not buy the computer that I would do these 4 jobs and just keep the money that I would spend on the computer to do these 4 jobs.
Yeah. All right. Well, so so good. So we got the new machine out of the way. I want to talk to you what I've been experimenting with, trying to dedicate certain types of workspaces to certain types of jobs. So one of the things I've been experimenting with recently is when I launch Firefox, it always opens on Workspace 1. When I launch Telegram, it always opens on Workspace 2. When I launch Slack, it always opens on Workspace 3. Terminal is always on Workspace 1. It's just a few things like that. And then on certain workspaces, I'm setting up tiling. So when I open up things on Workspace 3, they get tiled, for example.
Sure.
And that, combined with multiple monitors, I find has really been a pretty big improvement to my workflow because while I can't see everything on the virtual desktops, it's because I know that the application's always open there, I know it's there in the back of my mind.
Right. Sure.
So it's sort of I always have that state. And I come in and out of this. I ebb and flow out of doing this, getting my desktop super hyper customized, and then trying to keep it super stock.
Sure.
And so that way, the argument for keeping it stock, of course, is that I could just immediately load another machine and be good to go. But the argument I feel like for making it customized is that it's always the perfect workflow machine for me.
Right. Yeah.
So this is so I'm going all in now on the customizing again, and I think what I'm gonna try to do is do some sort of configuration management or backup or something that I can use to move my config between machines, restore my config if something breaks, and I think it's just time for me to sort of, see the configuration management light, and that could be something as simple as backing up my .dot files. I don't know exactly how I'll pull it off, but
C file.
Maybe.
And have the home directory sync, man.
Maybe.
Tell you what.
Maybe. I could. I'd be willing to do that. That's fine too.
Yeah, that's what I do with that's how I'm doing KeyPass and password management and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, Windows 10 promises this settings sync across PCs thing, but it's pretty superficial. It's not really like I want like window positioning stuff and tiling stuff set and all that kind of thing. So I'm going all in. I'm probably gonna regret it. I tend to burn out when I do this, but I've just been really frustrated recently with stuff crashing and
well, and part of it
low
is you
performance.
don't have a good fallback, right? Like, so for me, I've got my trusty Fedora machine that sits at my house, and so no matter what I'm doing, I'm on the laptop.
You have
or
an
on the-
emergency.
Yeah, I always have like the machine that I do my core amount of work on, that I live on.
Your escape pod.
Yeah, my escape pod. That's my refuge. You don't have a refuge.
I know. I need a coding escape pod. I need like a broadcasting escape pod. I need like one for each type of job I do. Escape pod system. A dedicated escape pod PC. All right. Well, so Mike, what's your benchmark of success for a machine like this? Like, when do you say, okay, this was worth the investment?
So I've been doing a little bit with Apache OpenNLP, which is a Java-ish based natural language processing kind of machine learning library from the good folks at the Apache Foundation. Because I have a requirement for something to do a bunch of natural language processing locally, and compiling that in my Galago made it scream for bloody mercy. The Dell was like, okay, go make some tea and come back, and I'm fine, thanks. So I would say today was fine. Great. Got it Friday. The only issue I've had so far is the AMD card. It does seem a little unhappy. There is a weird situation where it seems like if the GPU kicks up, it was freaking out. Now, I ended up having to install a proprietary AMD driver, which was kind of annoying, from AMD's website, the old evil manual way. And it seems to have stopped. It would be great if like the machine could just pick up and say, oh, there's a driver I could get you. I would have preferred
Yes. Yeah, well, if there was a driver, it would, if it was built into the kernel. But that proprietary driver, that is always a problem. They're working on it. They're working on it.
Yeah, it's such a terrible install process is kind of my issue, though, right? It's like, here's a scary screen, and this might work. But once I got that down, it really is kind of cranking. I mean, it's black, which is nice. It looks like Darth Vader. And it's not $5,000, so I mean, what else do you want?
You have to pay extra for that black in some cases.
Yeah.
Well,
Listen,
good.
it compiles my Java and my C#, because thanks to Microsoft's love of Linux now, just as fast as my Mac did, right?
Yeah, or
actually a lot faster. I take it back. A lot faster.
Yeah, good. I'm a little machine jealous because I'm I spent a little while for me. I usually try to get one every 6 months or so, but it's been a while since I've had the good stuff.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. The next one will be USB-C. I have no doubt.
Oh yeah. That is for laptops. The USB-C life is a good thing.
You have to get that new XPS. I thought you had the new XPS.
I have a 5th generation XPS, and I broke the side of it recently, so it is a little extra busted now, and so my power port floats around inside the case a little bit.
That seems bad.
Yeah, I know. And Dell's supposedly going to send me a review unit of the new one, so that's going to be particularly hard to turn away.
Don't drop that one on your side. That one would not work out very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would just shatter.
Yeah. So before we go on, before we get to the Open Apache, Open NLP stuff, because that does sound super fascinating, I want to mention Linux Academy. linuxacademy.com/coders. Go there to support this here show and sign up for a free 7-day trial, and then pick your hands-on training category. They have stuff that is going to blow your mind. 1,200 hours of in-depth video contents, labs, flashcards, hands-on training for every topic: Linux, Google Cloud Platform, AWS, DevOps, OpenStack, Big Data, and Azure as well. Real hands-on stuff. They deploy in real environments, scenario-based labs that give you hands-on training from anywhere at any time on any of these complicated technology solutions. And if you ever get stuck, they have real human beings that are ready to help. And if you go there now, you can get a little sense of that. linuxacademy.com/coders. Sign up for a free 7-day trial. Check out those hands-on labs. That's pretty cool. And if you got a busy schedule, try out their course scheduler. And then when you're ready to go get certifications, they have courses created specifically to prepare you for certification exams. linuxacademy.com/coders. Also, Noah's going to love this feature. Downloadable, comprehensive, offline study guides, notes, notebooks, and other tools. No internet connection
Local
required.
media? Are you
Yep.
telling me it's local media?
Yep,
It's
local
local
media.
on my computer. I love
Yep.
it.
And
I'm in love.
if you do have connectivity while you're on the go, maybe you're on the bus, maybe you're on the tube, they have iOS and Android apps as well. linuxacademy.com/coders. Go there, sign up, and get a free 7-day trial, linuxacademy.com/coders, and support this show. Mike, have you heard of the Mozilla's Common Voice project as well? That's kind of doing some of this natural language processing stuff too. I don't know if it's similar to Apache exactly, but they're working on also sort of opening up a data set of natural language and whatnot.
Yeah, I heard of it. I haven't done anything with it. It's very, very similar from what I've heard, with the difference being that the Apache one is actually offline.
Oh, I hadn't even thought of that. So you can take that and you can download all of that. That is really nice.
Yeah.
Now, what use case do you have to be offline for something like this, though? I'm kind of, I mean, not to reveal behind the curtain too much, but that's not what I expected you to say.
So let's say, because normally I would use the Microsoft Lewis engine, right? So let's say you're a person who may be in a remote region and you don't want to have a signal going out. You would want something offline. Or
sure.
more, yeah, right. So you're in the desert, right? Or you're stranded on an island, or you're, frankly, in most of Florida. You have no connectivity.
Yeah, fair enough. And so what? So you can do. You can analyze with this, right? You can get parts of speech out. You can get named entities out of this. This sounds like it'll even do language detection, like what language you're speaking. This is like powerful stuff they're giving away here.
Yeah, it's like a lot of these things, its most powerful language right now is English. The way it would basically work is you set up your entities beforehand, and you might say like maps might be something you're doing, right, or directions or whatever, and your application code would just deal with those entities and intents, and that's it. The challenge is if you're not running this with a connection, you're of course always having to update to get advantages, right? So like a cognitive service like Lewis constantly is being updated and improved. Something like this, you would have to actually update your binary.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
If you were running it with no connection, right?
Yeah. So Apache's goal here with the OpenNLP project is to create a mature toolkit for all of that, like part of speech tagging, named entity extraction. They're creating a toolkit for people to grab and do this. And I suppose in a way it's either this or 2 or 3 companies that offer this, right? It's like there's not a lot of other options here, unless I'm misunderstanding.
Yeah, there are some proprietary options too, and I know Mozilla has something like you mentioned, but I kind of am partial to Apache because they tend to not release crap. Not that Mozilla does. I'm just saying, it's a stamp of approval for me.
Yeah.
And I'm just not interested in a proprietary solution. The other kind of problem, you talk about strategy tax a lot. Like with Lewis and with Google's alternative to this, they're all trying to sell you web services. So if you actually have a requirement that says no connection to the outside, well, you're in direct conflict with their strategy tax and you can't do it.
Yeah, that is the problem with that. The strategy tax or the just dragging priorities around by the latest marketing thing. So you're going to build this into like a Coder Radio Alexa skill app? Is that what the plan is here?
Well, in the case, actually, there is a Coder Radio Alexa skill app that should.
How is there? Is that? Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's continuing, huh?
Yeah. That's continuing. It's on a dirty little Lambda though. So.
Okay, well that's all right. I mean that's apropos for the show content, so I like that.
But no,
that's
that is not using this, right? Because actually the Alexa SDK has its own NLP built in.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, will you guys be building a home pod?
A HomePod thing?
HomePod?
No, you just use AirPlay
No.
on your phone. No.
Not yet. In fact, to my and Chris is the HomePod guy. He's the Apple fan. To my knowledge, there's no HomePod SDK access anyway. So
I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
No, not yet. There's Siri stuff that you can do that like is related, but I think a lot like the watch, most of the HomePod processing is done on the phone. It's like the heavy lifting's on the phone, like Siri on the phone, connectivity on the phone.
yeah,
Sure.
I think it's even more locked down though. My understanding is you can just like send content from your phone to the HomePod. Like there's no custom. Like at least the watch had an SD. It was a crappy SDK when it first
Yeah.
came out, but it had
Yeah.
one, right?
Yeah. How's the skill stuff going? That hasn't burned you out? I mean, when I looked at that, it seemed like there was a million choices to make.
You know, the skill stuff is pretty good. Well,
Maybe we should do a show on it sometime.
we should do a show on it because there's so much there, and there's so many different companies trying to lock you into their platform, which is kind of annoying. That trying to navigate that has been a little challenging. Yeah.
Well, I guess
But how's
right
the
now.
HomePod?
First of all, you bastard. Second of all, you know they're not
What
shipping
color
yet.
did you get? That's the most important thing. What color?
I got black.
Well, of course.
I got black. You know, the thing is I actually think this may be one of the few devices, and Noah knows this to be true. I very, very, very rarely return stuff.
Have you ever returned anything in your life?
A couple times.
Really?
This may be like the number
Really?
3 time.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright.
I find like
That HDMI cable, though.
Yeah, no, not an HDMI. No, that's still sitting around too. In the
I know it is.
The thing is I've been living a secret life of a Siri defender, and I haven't been open about it. But the truth is that having several devices with the Google Assistant, having more Echo Dots than any rational person should in a small space, and having Siri on my wrist and in my pocket, the functionality that I use is location-based reminders and notes and to-dos. And then I'd like to get the secondary things I like to get is weather and news reports. And in all of those particular use cases, Siri is better. It's better at location-based reminders. It's better when I say, if I say, what's the temperature? It says, the temperature is 43 degrees. It doesn't give me a paragraph of, today, the forecast will consist of,
Yeah.
and it goes in for a whole paragraph on both the other two assistants.
Sure.
And if I ask Siri, what's the wind speed? It starts with the wind speed.
Yeah.
It starts with the thing I asked it.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. And same with location. When I say, when I get to the studio, remind me.
Yeah.
When I get home, remind me.
Right.
And those are things that the Echo can't do. The only thing I can
Right.
do with the Echo is set time-based reminders,
Yeah.
and then it just blasts me everywhere.
Right.
And so that combined with the fact that for Hidea, music is the primary function of these devices.
Sure.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It seems like it has the potential to be one of those things that you buy once and then they don't update for 3 years, although they'll do it via software. But I would expect them to update it over software. And so if they do that...
I have lots of problems with this purchase, Chris. I don't
Oh,
know
it's okay. Me too.
No,
However triggered.
just the audio side of it being a mono speaker. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's that.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I have a problem anytime we take a protocol that was designed to connect your keyboards and mice to your computer, and then we try to funnel audio over it. I think is ridiculous.
It's not using Bluetooth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's using AirPlay, which is
good.
which can be all sorts of different things.
all kinds of flaky, yeah.
Or it plays directly, right? So they put a
You're still pulling a stream in over the internet.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, but it's it's 192 kilobit AAC, so that's not bad, and it can also do FLACs.
yeah. When you play, first time you play a FLAC, go ahead and take a picture and send it to me. I mean, nobody's doing that, right? I mean, that's just kind of.
But they put the way it works is, and this isn't something I do, but if you use this service called iTunes Match, it uploads
God.
it uploads all the crap you have up to the cloud, and it includes like FLAC files and WAV files. And if
Oh,
you've
really?
uploaded that, it'll stream those to it.
Oh, no kidding.
They put like an iPhone 6 or 6S in the HomePod, CPU and system-wise, like the whole
Gotcha.
system on a chip is.
Sure.
It's like having a 6S in there. So I think they're going to do something with all of that processing power, but I don't know. As long as it plays podcasts, plays music, and does all the other things I mentioned assistant-wise,
Yeah. Then it can do everything that all the other Home Assistants can
basically,
do.
that I need it to.
For
It
more
doesn't have-
money.
but it doesn't have the
You
skill.
can't get-
Right. There's no
Right.
mic writing a Coda Radio skill for it,
Yeah.
which is why I think it's going to suck.
Yeah.
But
Well, how could it not suck? I mean, without me, of course.
right.
That's my metric if I buy a device or not. Can I get Coda Radio on it?
That's
But the
right.
thing
So-
is I have really spent an extensive amount of time figuring out how to automate things with the Alexa and with the assistant, and so. I mean, I'm already like pretty well versed on all this stuff. It just feels like it's worth trying it out, just so I have a pretty round comparison to make.
So the HomePod does have like one primary feature for like developers, right? It is effectively your hub for if you're doing Apple HomeKit automation.
Right.
Are you doing a lot of that? Like
Yeah, I do.
you are with
Yeah.
HomeKit. Okay.
Yeah, everything I have is both Echo supportable and HomeKit supportable. So everything I bought, I made sure it supports both protocols. But the nice thing about HomeKit is that it is as fast as hitting a light switch, and it works without an internet connection, which is also a big win for me because I'm often without an internet connection. And the Echo's so worthless it can't even give you the time. Like it can't even. It just says sorry, and it doesn't even try to. Do anything.
Well, it probably can't transcribe what you're saying, to be honest. It probably doesn't even know what you're telling.
Right, it just knows it was woken.
Right.
Yeah. Whereas with HomeKit, I can still control all my lights and my heaters and my water sensors and all of that through.
So did you ever give the Googs a shot here?
So I have the assistant built into the NVIDIA Shield TV, which I have a couple of those, and then I also have it on my Nexus 6P and. One other device has the assistant. I don't recall.
I know you don't have a home, right? Because we did the home.
Yeah, I didn't because I have the assistant on so many other things.
Right.
Well, isn't that the kind of same argument? Couldn't you make the same argument with Siri though?
Well, I'm hoping, and we'll see, that there's something uniquely different about Siri and a LadyTube.
But there for sure is not something uniquely different about the Google Home
Assistant. Well, what I mean by that is I suspect there will be functionality that does not exist on the mobile device that does exist.
I see.
Whereas that the functionality is parity between assistant. Have you tried it on your Shield?
No, I don't use that stuff.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
It's not bad. One of the things I do like about it is you can tell it to, hey, I just want to watch this show, and it will search across multiple services and tell you, like, you can watch it here for free, you can watch it here for $2.99. That's kind of.
So you got all that stuff disabled.
Yeah. I actually entered into this. I mean, if you guys recall, I entered into this being like super skeptical pants about this entire product category. And I thought this, and the only reason I even got an Echo is because they had it on sale, and I'm like, well, if I'm shitting on this thing all the time, I should probably put my money where my mouth is and try it out. I mean, let's see how it is.
I should tell them they suck for a reason. Yes.
Right. But then what I realized is that I'm a busy SOB and I'm doing stuff all the time, and I love having to control my devices when I have my hands full.
Yeah.
And when I'm when I'm setting up at the center console in the studio, I'm turning on lights and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Pausing and playing media playback.
But don't you feel like this is the exact type of platform Apple would charge you a lot of money for and then let die on the vine?
And under-deliver. It's going to be like an Apple TV 2.0, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Only the requirements of a speaker are it's a speaker.
But
it's not like there's going to
speaker though.
See, see, the thing that pushed me over the edge is I read about 3 reviews that have come out in the last couple of days, and one of the guys is a super, super well-respected audiophile, and he came away really impressed by it. Now, I'm not saying
I'm just saying anyone you don't use audiophile and a single little speaker.
Maybe you should hear it. Maybe you should hear it and find out. They will. You can if you want to spend $700 buy 2 of them. And then they'll stereo pair up in a couple of months.
Even still,
I mean, buy a Sonos.
A real stereo, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
With the woofer.
Well, so what the thing that seems like the most practical approach to me would be if you want a smart speaker, is get a $30 dot and hook it up to just whatever speakers, maybe your home sound system or something.
Yeah.
Sonos 5 dot.
Yes, the Play 5. Oh my God! So you want to talk about a speaker that sounds good?
No. Yeah. I think the HomePod's going to beat the Sonos 5.
No way.
Really?
No way. The Play 5? No way.
I mean, I've only heard it in stores, so I could be wrong.
You know that particular establishment we were at the other night?
Mm-hmm.
That whole store is powered by a single Play 5. So
really?
all the music you're hearing in that store, where it sounds like they have like 2 subs and actual speakers.
Requesting connection. Established. Encrypted. We're
live.
The show you've been asking for. Advice, technology, and community. Linux
this is why you don't
first,
cron.
all others second. This is Ask Noah.
So
and there's nothing I can do about it. Live from the Ubuntu Summit, the show that ruins the other shows.
Play it on a Sonos 5.
Why is it starting at 12:53?
Because it's 2 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock, so it's 1 hour before I would get to the studio, so I can check to make sure that everything's working. If I turn on AskNoahShow.com, I can listen to make sure that everything's going to work when I get there. Yeah. Except I don't do it on Monday anymore, so really I got to change that.
I just want to say I like.
Now we have a copyright flag on this video.
No, you let that out.
Yeah, you're right. It's rocking. All right. Well, I'm sure Beard could fix that for us there. Now, what were we saying before that kicked in?
I was
yeah.
saying that the entire store is powered by a Play 5.
Really?
So what sounds like there's a bunch of speakers and a
Really?
woofer is a
Well, that's
single
pretty-
Play 5. I mean, the Sonos, when we install a ton of Sonos stuff, everything from the sound bars to, those individual speakers, and even those, I will tell you that, again, you're not going to meet an audio file that's going to be like, that's amazing sound.
Right,
It's
yeah.
good for a single speaker.
Yeah, within context. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I don't think he was saying it was like going to beat. In fact, he even said that in his review. He says it's not going to beat these systems or these systems or these systems, obviously.
Any stereos.
But what he said is that which surprised me, and it was surprised him, is he moved around the room and couldn't find like the non-sweet spot of the audio. Like he just
Yeah.
said around the entire room, it sounded incredible.
Yeah, well, I mean, Apple, they own Beats, right, which suck, but sound good enough to to justify a higher price tag.
See, this is why I bought it because you guys are completely skeptical, and you know what? Everybody thought Face ID was going to be a total train wreck. Everybody thought that the iPhone.
So, but I still think it's
Really?
Well, here's the thing. I don't own it, so
Everybody
I'm
who has
biased.
seen it here at the conference that hasn't seen it before is the first thing that blows everybody away is the fact that the notifications reveal themselves once it unlocks. But the moment I get a phone call and I look at my phone and it turns the volume down by 70%, people go, "Wow, that is amazing." There's a little things in there that are really nice once your phone recognizes you're looking at it.
Yeah, but it would be fine if it was an addition to the fingerprint scanner, but they took that away.
Yeah,
To
I
me,
can see
that's
that.
like
Have both. Why not have both?
Well, I do on
Yeah.
my Samsung, but
Yeah, but that's not Face ID.
well,
That's
they don't
the
call
thing.
it Face ID.
No,
it's the same thing.
No, it's not
It's the same thing.
It is.
It's the same
You
thing,
should
dude.
Google that before you say that. It is not the same thing. There's,
Okay, I don't know how it technically
this-
works underneath, but what I'm saying
Yeah.
is I can look at the phone and the camera
Oh, yeah,
picks
yeah,
things
yeah.
based on.
Yeah, that's a crap Face ID system. That's the problem.
It's not Face ID. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Mom
Well,
and
I
Dad,
do
you're
Face
fighting
ID.
again.
No, he's just upset because I pre-ordered a HomePod. That's all. He'll get over it. Once I return it, he'll be even. He'll
I'll
be
buy one.
elated. He'll be
I'll go buy one.
I return and he'll be elated. So it's a roller coaster of emotions for him right now.
Wow.
Well, Mr. Dominic, is there anything else we want to cover before we wrap up here at the event?
No.
Okay. Well,
I'll see you next week.
I'll go around. I'll spread the good word about Coda Radio to everybody. I'll tell everybody to tune into the show, and I'll just be here. I'll be our promotion man while I'm here. Might as well make the best of it, right? All right, Mr. Dominic. Well, why don't you give people a few plugs for where they can find you or maybe the business throughout the week before we get out of here?
Good. Follow @Dominico on Twitter and listen to the Ask Noah show, which has much better intro music than this one.
Now wait a minute.
Yeah.
Ronald Jenkins is a classic.
We love Ronald
appreciate-
Yankees.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Astro Show will be live tomorrow. At 4 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, right after Linux Unplugged, it's going to be a Linux sandwich, and we're going to try to do the whole dang thing live from this canonical event on battery power. So we'll see if we pull all that off, because we used about half the battery for this episode. So, but you can follow me. I'm at Chris LAS. The whole network is at Jupiter Signal, and of course the Coda Radio program is at Coda Radio Show. On the Twitters, go over there, follow that account. We're going to eventually, when I'm not moving around and doing crazy stuff, we're going to eventually do a Q&A over there as well. And, of course, the subreddit over at codaradio.reddit.com. Codaradio.reddit.com. And last but not least, we'd love your feedback at jupiterbroadcasting.com/contact. Send in your feedback to the show. We'll answer it in a future edition of the Coda Radio program. Mr. Noah, is there anything else we want to mention before we get out of here?
No, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no
Thank you
problem.
for joining us. I look forward to doing more podcasts with you.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you right back here next week on the Coda Radio program. All right. Thank you, Mr. Dominic. That went smooth. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have fun at the
Thank you.
Snap
Thank you.
conference.
Thank you. I'll talk to you from the studio next week.
Sounds
So.
good.
All righty. But goodbyes.
Bye, guys.
Goodbyes. So, are we ready to go? Yeah. Thank you, chat room, for joining us too. We're gonna wrap up here and then keep beeping around and get you some. We'll probably have some coverage in tomorrow's shows from the event too. So thank you guys for making it. I'm going to wrap up the show now and stop droplets, but I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can join us tomorrow for 2 back-to-back Linux programs. Bye, Z's.